Welcome everybody to the tiebreaker game, as in the last game for this group stage. It is the Join Dota League season number 5's European Division 2.2. It is xGame KZ going up against B+5 in this best of one, and well, the loser will go into the Division 2 and 3 playoffs. xGame, I don't think anybody ever expected them to be in such a position or even be this close to such a position, but well, that's the sad truth. But of course, we're HeflaTV. I'm Couchor. I'm gonna be joined by Danny. How you doing?
Pretty good tonight. Actually, nice to be doing a little bit of casting again. But yeah, I'm actually surprised xGame is literally on the verge of having to go through these playoffs again. So I think we've cast a couple of their games together, and we do notice that they do play inconsistently. They do have a lot of inconsistencies. They play with quite a few stand-ins. I'm very sorry about this, the beeps, but I think because they're not playing with their standard roster, I think it's there's confusion, there's not much synergy, because obviously if you play with your roster, you know your teammates. You know that how they'll extend in the game, you'll know how to back them up. Whereas if you play with someone that you're not comfortable with, that's when things get a little bit shaky. So hopefully X Game can pick their feet up and, well, win this game and stay in Division 2.
Yeah, it's probably, or everybody thinks that they should be able to do so because even though, like you said, they have been having some roster issues, the two players that they have in addition to their normal ones at the moment are also players that they've played with quite a bit, especially Tomasz, maybe a little bit less so with Amazing, but I hope for their own sake that they have stabilized now that this will be like the five-man roster that they're going to run with at P+5. They've, at least they're all properly tagged up, so they're coming here unified, probably ready to just take on this challenge here. And in a best of one, really anything can happen. So xGame, they have the first pick. They also chose to ban out a Queen of Pain, which maybe isn't that popular of a ban. Whereas P+5 removing the IO, which is probably team specific with xGame, they do love themselves the IO combinations.
Yeah, I very popular here in the European region, so typically you will see a lot of Wisp bans, but yeah, I'm actually surprised there was a Queen of Pain ban, but well, take into consideration, what does a Queen of Pain provide that you would ban her out for? Essentially, she's got lots of mobility, she's a very strong laner, especially typically she's going to be in that mid lane. Occasionally you'll see her in the off lane, but you're never going to ban a Queen of Pain for an off lane Queen of Pain. She has a pure damage from her ultimate, so maybe there's something that X Game has in mind that they want to draft, but a Queen of Pain would heavily counter. Maybe they want Bened to play a little bit more passively so that they can play a little bit more greedy, but it's hard to say. They've only drafted Eventual Spirit, so it's all speculation for the moment.
Don't underestimate a support Queen of Pain. I don't know, maybe that's a thing that we're unaware of by now. I have seen it in the support role once, maybe even twice. I've even seen an Invoker support, and well, both of those were extremely unsuccessful, probably for good reason. But B+5, they get their hands on Yax, one of the more fun heroes to watch in the game. Witch Doctor, definitely so as well, having the Death Ward, whereas xGame, already having the Vengeful, they get their hands on the Batriders. And B+5 so far, they don't really have anything to deal with Batrider initiations.
Well, you could count the axe, I suppose. When he gets that blink dagger, he's going to be pretty good at keeping the bat locked down, but it's also going to be dependent on his positioning. So if axe is going to be far away, he's not going to get the call, and someone might get caught. Are there any other heroes that, aside from the axe, that could pretty much catch out Batrider? I'm thinking a lion to be the supporting duo with that witch doctor. He'd be pretty good against the Batrider just with that hex.
Yeah, it's of course Lion would need his own blink as well to be properly in position for the most part, but Lion in general would be a great support to have, to be honest. I suppose maybe something like a Skyriff Mage could also be thought of, just having that Berserker's Call into easy Mystic Flares, for example. Other than that, Disruptor has been used against Batrider. Maybe not the best, just because Batrider can farm up with a BKB and suddenly Glimpse doesn't do anything. But even then, Batrider usually does not get the fastest BKB by any means. You want to like get the blink, then you want to have 4 staff, maybe even boots or travels depending on the player there. So we'll see how much effort Pen plus 5 will even put into that. Maybe they're just gonna go with trying to have like superior map vision, so to know when the Batrider is coming and prepare that way.
I'm actually surprised that X Game actually banned out the Tusk. I don't know if I'm just behind on the meta, or maybe there's something that B+5 actually runs with the Tusk, but Very interesting ban. I think I've seen a couple of teams play the Tusk where you use the snowball to save the teammate that's been lassoed. It's a very cute play, very niche, though you don't want to do it all the time. So I'm sad that there's going to be no Tusk. He's a very fun hero to watch, just seeing people being punched all over the place. And well, Bernard +5, they're going to go for a Zeus as their third pickup. So for the moment, I'm going to say the support Zeus. We haven't really seen core Zeus as of much lately. He has been favored as a position 4 support. He's technically a free sentry ward with the lightning bolt.
If it is a position for Zeus, are you fine with the Witch Doctor suddenly being in the hard support role?
They could essentially share the farm. Like typically you don't normally see it. You're just going to see that really poor support and you see the incredibly farm support. But well, you could have a position 5 Zeus. It just means that, well, if he's not getting those levels, he's not going to be dealing as much damage as he would like to because Zeus, he does incredibly well with levels. If he can get fast levels, he is literally a nuking machine. So they might share the farm. Maybe Zeus could pick up a core item, then he'll give the farm to the Witch Doctor. We'll have to see in what order they want to go for this first, though. But we are going to have a Spectre pickup here for Bernard 5, so we have a global lineup already. They have the Zeus ultimate and they now have the Spectre Haunt to work with, so I'm expecting a lot of aggression coming out from the Radiant side with these two heroes alone.
The Spectre is also pretty nice in dealing with any kind of blink initiations because you pop your haunt, suddenly blinks are disabled for some time at least. So that's like one nice thing, but that will require for them to get the jump before xGame find Bennett +5. If of course Patrick has already jumped in and then you haunt, you can maybe slow him down or at least try to create some confusion, but that should be about it. At least you can't stop the blinks anymore. At least not the Bat Riders. But Spectre as a hero, I'm just torn between my opinions because sometimes, recently specifically, it's been Lakel's in Signature Trust to play the Spectre quite a bit. And at least they have had some success. But mostly just Spectre is so bad in the laning phase. And xGame, they might just be ready to just pick themselves a lineup to punish that properly.
Yeah, they could absolutely do that. I'm surprised they should go back for the Jakiri. I don't want to say he's an old support, but he is technically a last patch support, so I'm very surprised to see him again. He's still strong. He only received a couple of nerfs to the liquid fire, but I guess it has really pushed him down in terms of favorability for a support, but he's pretty good. They've got a lot of pushing potential with the Jakiri now, just because of that liquid fire. They have a secondary stun to follow up with the magic missile, so we've got quite a bit of lockdown on the side of xGame, whereas on the side of Bernard 5, they've only got 2 disables at the moment. It's the Berserker's Call and the cast coming out from that Witch Doctor, so a little bit worried for them.
Oh, well, I mean, Witch Doctor, at the moment, maybe they don't really have that much lockdown to keep people in the death ward, but maybe the 5th pick for B+5, depending on how they want to run the axe, but for now, most likely it's going to be that offlane axe. We see the 2 supports, or I would still maybe like to see the Zeus in the core role rather than the support, just to give them a little bit of more explosiveness, kind of to try to make up for the lack of Spectres early mid-game. But if it is the 2 supports we see at the moment, who would you like to have them go for the mid lane?
They're going to need a very, very strong momentum-based hero. And when I mean momentum-based, they have to be on the get-go. So from level 1, they're going to really have to push out xGame's mid-hero, which is going to be the Shadow Fiend. He's pretty easy to push out a lane, but when he does start packing up those souls, it's going to be pretty difficult. I would have liked to see a Queen of Pain in all honesty, but she's been banned out. A couple of other mid lanes. Bernard 5 themselves, they banned out the Templar Assassin. I think Templar Assassin wouldn't have been too bad, although there is a lot of damage over time from xGame, so probably not the best. Another mid... They could go for an Invoker, actually. They could have the Sunstrikes as well, so really global base lineup. Lots of setup with the Invoker. Probably Quas Wex, so that they have the Tornado EMP combo. So I'm going to put it out there and maybe say an Invoker. What mids would you suggest?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if Invoker would be my first choice. Maybe a Puck. Like you mentioned, Queen of Pain definitely would fit in, but xGame banning it out, knowing that B+5 do favor that hero apparently by chat, but they're gonna go for an Enigma, so it is gonna be that mid lane Zeus, which is kind of nice in its own right. Enigma can jungle really fast, but xGame now picking up a lifestealer of all heroes. Didn't really expect that one to come out, and not entirely sure how well he's gonna do, but he's not gonna be a solo carry or solo core by any means. There's gonna be a Shadow Fiend to also help out in damage. And of course they have that Batrider, Nake's Bomb now, the lifestealer just jumping in, infesting there, but xGame, do they go straight into the enemy jungle and block out a couple of camps?
If I recall correctly, Starcat's actually xGame's off lane, so they're gonna go for an aggressive tri lane with this Lifestealer, Venge, and Jakiri. I really like how they're gonna put some pressure on that the Spectre lane, just to slow down her farm from getting the Radiance, from getting anything like maybe an early Vanguard or something. I don't really like Vanguard on a Spectre in all honesty, like Drums earn pretty good for early game aggression, but I really like how they're doing this. How is B5 going to actually react with their Spectre though? Will they actually rotate her out of that lane, or do you think they'll keep her in the lane? I would like them to rotate her out just because, like you said earlier, Spectre's laning phase is terrible. She can't really do anything.
Well, xGame most likely would just rotate themselves as well. Maybe not all that fast, but even if the Spectre goes top lane, there's still gonna be a Batrider waiting there, and even if Spectre takes the Witch Doctor with him, even that isn't gonna be a super easy lane if you're on the off lane at the same time. But xGame really taking a nice approach. I'm not too sure if Lifestealer was like the best hero to go for with an aggressive tri lane, but it should work out as they are gonna at least secure themselves a bounty rune here. And a little bit weird to see that they went for an Observer Ward that doesn't block out the jungle at all. Of course, it's less likely to get sentryed that way, but they just went with or for the full vision instead of just making Enigma's life harder.
Yeah, they need block out the pull camp. So maybe they're kind of making B5 a little bit worried, thinking, okay, the jungle's probably going to be warded, we're probably going to have to pick up sentries. Obviously, they're not going to buy them up until the point where they see whether the camps are going to spawn. So maybe they really want that vision so that they can rotate, take those runes, and hopefully go from maybe mid ganks, because Shadow Fiend's a very easy hero to gank. He's got no way to escape if the Jakiri and Vengeful Spirit just rotate themselves.
Well, it's just at the moment, I think B+5, they're at a heavy disadvantage with the entire laning phase pretty much. Bottom lane shouldn't be great. Top lane, Axe, depending on how he plays it, may do well enough up against Batrider, but even then Batrider shouldn't be in too much trouble as... Oh, Witch Doctor he is in some trouble now if we have a magic missile. Nope, they're trying to get a little bit closer into range, but Vision screws over xGame for a little while. No Ice Path really there to follow up anyway on Amazing, did go for the Liquid Fire. But one thing we neglected to do so far is to introduce the lineup. So for the side of B+5, Bennett +5 there on the Radiant, Nemerianos will be handling the Axe off lane, leaving Tabushka on the Zeus with Robert on the Enigma. And the last two will be Titius on the Spectre and Maciek on the Witch Doctor.
I think it's Maciek. Who knows? Except for the player, he would know. On the side of xGame, playing on the Dire side, on our Lifestealer in the aggressive tri-lane, it's Skullcat. Playing on our Jakiri, it is Amazing. On our Vengeful Spirit, who is going to rotate into the mid lane, we have Reeves. Playing on our Shadow Fiend, we have Mantis. And lastly, in that safe lane, where is he? Our Batrider, actually just getting first blood on the Axe. Tomash already having a very good head start himself.
I wasn't even entirely sure if it would happen. I was keeping tabs on it for some time. But I was like, oh, they're all so slow, just trying to catch up to each other. But 8 stacks of sticky napalm, a little bit too much for the Axe to just run away with. He was doing fine up until the point that the Battle Hunger ended on the Batrider, which meant that there's no extra movement speed bonus anymore for the Axe. And then he just got chased down. Okay, so...
Deal.
Wow, Lifestealer, a rare pick and a bad pick by the win rate percentage.
It's not a bad pick. I think it's just a very situational pick. The nerfs he received really hurt him, especially with the open wounds. Remember they were trying to go for a gank down in that bottom lane, but well, if you take a look at open wounds range, it's incredibly tiny, 200 range. It's literally in melee range if you want to cast it.
Oh, Witch Doctor in the meantime did get the sentry ward down on the Observer. Reeves though will find him in the jungle, just goes in for a little bit of harass. Jakira will be closing in, but once again, no Ice Path. Went for the dual breath instead. Still some nice body blocking, liquid fires there. They really needed to slow though. And now Paralyzing Cast will get those bounces through with the Eidolons. Never mind, Reeves. Gonna be fast enough with those boots there for him. But Stalcat, he's gone even for 2 points into Feast, so he's really expecting to just be physically harassing the Spectre, even though Stalcat himself is a melee hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe he just wants to sustain as well, just so he doesn't have to leave the lane. But then again, he's got 4 tankers in the south, so he's pretty much good in terms of sustain. Maybe he wants to farm the jungle? I don't know. A lot of the times, you don't really see them leveling up Feast, and actually there is going to be an engagement onto the Spectre. He's going to try and go into the trees. Looks like he might be able to. They're going to cut through the trees. Can they find him? He's still going. They've got so many tangos to work with, though, and actually Spectre going to be caught. No, he's in a tiny nook in the tree, so he is going to escape. Oh my goodness. Poor Tedis.
I think he's
Tedious.
stuck himself now. Then. Oh yes, so gonna have to use the Spectre
It's a
dagger to get
Spectre.
out. Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's
a
still,
Spectre.
he's completely out of mana now, which means that when he comes back into the lane and there's another gank like that, suddenly no Spectral Dagger to get himself to safety anymore. Unless he's gonna go for a bottle now, which I would find rather weird on a Spectre, to be honest. So, Spectre, definitely not a good time. I mean, he's 3-0 in last hits. Axe though, 32-0. I think some of those are from the side camp as well. Batrider though, only 11 last hits, even with getting the first blood.
Yeah, I think that first blood really helped Tomash out, because if you're going up against an Axe, it's not going to be a fun lane. Actually, there is going to be the Firefly as well as some Napalm stats going onto our Axe, and actually, is he in trouble? Look at all the damage going onto the Axe. He's dropping very low. Firefly, there's going to be the Berserker's Call though. One more right click, might be able to finish him off. Gonna throw one more Napalm stack, one more hit, and that's gonna be it. Tomash securing his second kill on the Axe. So, well, if you take into consideration those 2 kills, I'm pretty sure the Batrider's pretty happy in his position, even though he's not going to get that super fast Blink Dagger, which actually he might still get it. He's got Puddle and Tranquil Boots, but I think Tomash is fine.
Yeah, he's not number 1 in net worth anymore because Shadowfiend just overtook him, but compared to the Axe, he's still about 400 ahead as mid lane. They get the stun onto the Bushka, 1 Shadow Race, 2 to follow, but 30 HP, separated Zeus from death. Now Mantis gonna get chased down, I believe, unless he gets rid of the Battle Hunger, which will not happen. One more, no. Don't even need the extra counter helix, had the dunk ready. So Axe gets a really just great kill there.
Yeah, and it's a big pick-off as well. It is one of the cores on the side of xGame. In particular, it's a Shadow Fiend, so it's going to set him back in terms of his Necro Mastery stacks too. So, well, unfortunately, Shadow Fiend loses a little bit of damage and he's going to lose some gold, but actually Axe, he's run into his best friend. It is going to be Tomash, and now Tomash going to try and go for another kill with Lasso onto the high ground. Extra salt to go into the wound, and well, Axe, he's stuck on the hill. He is melting, and he is dead. Roasted Axe for dinner for Tomash.
I really like that Reeves even came up close there as well. He wasn't needed to get the kill there, to have the kill secured. But Venture Spirit just needs the levels as a support. 6 minutes in now, almost level 4. With that kill, or without that level kill, I think he would just about to hit level 3 otherwise. So really nice there. Chikiro and Lifestealer, they don't really need any extra help bottom lane as it is anyway. I mean, Spectre is level 5, but still only 4 last hits, and Spectre as a hero in general isn't all that great in recovering.
Yeah, she's not like an anti-mage. She can't blink through the jungle. She's not like a Naga Siren where she can split up illusions and use Riptide to clear it. So she really needs her team to make space for her, but it looks for the moment they are going to try and go for a smoke rotation though, so a step in the right direction. Will they find anything though? I think Jakiro is going to be the main target because Lifestealer, very difficult hero to jump on, and well, here we go. Jakiro going to be melted down by 4 heroes, and it looks like Starcap, he's going to have to run away for his life here. He does have the rage available if he needs to use it. He's just going to pop it when he needs to. Actually, just going to run continuously through the enemy jungle. They're going to continue on chasing it. Oh my goodness. Axe get killed off again. Tomash, like, he is going to pay with his life. Going to drop down to a tower pod shot. So, unfortunately for him, he does die. Axe and Zeus getting the kill gold, but unfortunately... Actually, no. I'm going to say it's actually okay that Batrider died there.
Yeah, it's just not giving away any XP, and, well, like I said, gold-wise as well. In the end, xGame still coming out ahead. So, nicely done, or xGame rather. Well, they lost to Chikiro, so it was B+5 coming out ahead in the long run there. But it's just Enigma also, he hasn't had the fastest time in the jungle. It hasn't been like super slow or anything either, but usually you would expect Enigmas to already have the mech finished by now, or be a little bit closer to it at the very least, if nothing else. Top lane though, oh, Nembrianos is in some trouble again. Does get the battle hunger, so he's pretty speedy. Tomash though needs the magic missile to land, and indeed landed Taz, and they're gonna have a hasted Mantis coming in. One Shadow Race, make it 2 to get the kill. And Axe goes down once again. Axe, I have to say, he's just getting bullied straight out.
Absolutely. Well, it's a good thing for xGame because Axe, if you give him kills, if you give him any time to really build up some levels, items, anything for him to become relevant, because he's such a good hero during that early to mid game phase because he's so strong at those points that basically if that Axe comes online and xGame has trouble dealing with him, that means that Spectre is going to get space. And they do not want to give that Spectre space because if she finds farm, that means that even though xGame could probably drag the game into the later stages, Spectre is incredibly difficult to take down, and Starcat going to continue on chasing poor Tedious here. He is just going to have to hide behind the tower.
Starcat was actually looking for a Hand of Midas usage there in the jungle. He just picked the Midas up, went for it a little bit later, but may still pay off. Theoretically, it is hard to call though who has the better late game, especially considering that even if you have the Rage, Berserker's Call can still lock you down, kind of. You are going to be doing damage to the Axe during it at least, but even so, you're not going to be damaging the like squishier targets. You can't really focus fire as well. There's going to be a Malphite into Amazing Jakiro. I'm almost certain he's dead. Can Stalkat escape though? They have the black hole. They're going to whip it.
Oh, that was
sad.
PGG black hole there, and while Starcat's just going to go straight for the TP, no way to cancel that out because they have no vision.
I mean, if you're TPing home anyway, you might as well rage to like ensure your TP out. A little bit greedy, but of course didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, but that black hole was a little amusing. But anyway,
amusing, yes.
B5 they're going to continue on pushing the bottom lane. I'm not going to do any more like that. That's mean.
Vengeful Spirit gets his own Hand of Midas, so Midas, well, not Midas Gaming yet. I do believe you need 3 Midases to call it Midas Gaming, but it's Vengeful Spirit, Midas. Vengeful Spirit definitely not a like horrible semi-carry-ish kind of hero, and if nothing else, at least you get guaranteed wards.
Yeah. That's alright though. I'm pretty sure Jakiro is a position 5 hero because unfortunately for him he's got no boots yet, so he's been buying all of the support items. So hopefully Vengeful Spirit is going to be taking up that role considering that she has that Hand of Midas now. And also keep in mind Hand of Midas on supports. And if you can get a pre-20 minutes, because typically you'll see supports picking up at 20 minutes, getting levels on your supports is great. Even though it's going to essentially cap out at level 16, it means that they're going to get a faster level 16, and actually there's going to be a jump in from the Dire side. There's actually a nice Ice Path going to connect onto 3 heroes, but Batrider's down, Zeus is going to drop down. Oh my goodness, B5 completely melting. Spectre as well as Axe going to go down, and they're going to keep on chasing. Unfortunately, poor Enigma going to have to try and go into the jungle and go for a TP out. There's no vision there, but Ice Path is going to come out. It will connect onto the Enigma, and unfortunately Roberto, he's got to go. He is down. 4 heroes down for the side of B5. xGame, they only lose a Batrider.
While they jump in, and it wasn't even the cleanest initiation from xGame, just because Batrider went in, didn't get the immediate lasso. I think maybe got like Malphite or Paralyzing Cast or something like that. So it could have gone even better for xGame, I suppose, but Mantis, he also got the tier 1 tower in the meantime, finished up the tower, TP'd, I believe, to his own tier 2 to join this fight here. And suddenly, you can see 4 of xGame's heroes leading the net worth chart. Vengeful Spirit has more farm than anybody on B+5.
That is... It's very sad when a support Vengeful Spirit's actually ahead of everyone on the side of B+5. But we just saw the mechanism picked up on the Shadow Fiend, so we do have a little bit of sustain coming out from them if those fights go for, you could say, prolonged durations. Because if you look at both drafts, essentially B5 can go a little bit longer just because they have an Axe, they have a Zeus, they've got lots of spells they can spam, they can pretty much delay the fights, they have an Enigma as well to do quite a bit with the Midnight Pulse, but he is going to be jumped on by Tomash in a moment. There is actually going to be a Thunder God's Wrath as well, but well, they don't even use the lasso, they're just going to Firefly right on top of him, and Roberto, he's got to go again. Now, the rest of B5, though, are they going to try and jump in for this? It's a little bit scary. They don't have vision, and unfortunately, Tabushka going to have to run away. He's not going to get lassoed, though. Lasso is available if Tomash wants to jump on somebody.
xGame, they are, at least so far, completely crushing this game, and looks like Vengeful Spirit, having the Ring of Health now next, is gonna go for quite possibly a pipe just to mitigate the incoming magic damage of B+5. And if you even negate the Zeus's effectiveness, suddenly B+5, due to their lack of farm, they may not be able to do much at all. Nemerianos though is extremely close to his blink there, only 200 gold short on the axe. But he can't even farm that one up freely, although I really don't know what he's exactly waiting for in those trees. Lifestealer, not the easiest target to go for, although then again, if you get the Berserker's Call with the creep wave and a little bit lucky with the counter helixes, you may be able to kill him.
I actually don't think it's the fact that he wants to kill him. I think he's hiding, just in case that he might get caught out. He does have a teleport scroll if he needed to use it, but I think he's very worried. He's trying to find farm. He doesn't want to die because he's so close to a blink dagger. If he dies now, it'll be a little bit tragic, but there is going to be the lasso onto Tabushka in the mid lane. Zeus, he's going to go down. Oh, B+5, they're going to have to run away, but Roberto, he is stunned up. He's been finished up by a Shadow Raise. By our Shadow Fiend. Manta's going to secure that nice bit of gold there. 2 heroes down for B5 and xGame, they lose nobody.
Even loses his life top lane. Yeah, it's Spectre. I do believe he used the Horn to get to the Lifestealer. Lifestealer, not too sure how low he dropped earlier on, but he probably just popped in fast, got a little bit of life back, and oh no. They even run into Spectre there as well.
The Spectre does finish up a Vanguard though, so she has a little bit of sustain. I mentioned this earlier in the draft. Yeah, mission accomplished. She literally went to the secret shop to finish up the components for her Vanguard, and she literally just walked into certain death. But I'm pretty sure that the Spectre, he's just happy that he finished up his item. If he died before he finished the Vanguard, I'm pretty sure anybody would be hitting their head on the desk. But, well, xGame, they're going to take out this top tower, and they're doing it very quickly. Oh, man. This is the slowest Vanguard already. Oh.
Our stats, man, just...
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired. And it's just normal brown boots as well. Doesn't even have a magic wand or anything. Just Quelling Blade, brown boots, Vanguard. And they're going to find magic. No, run! Ice Path catches him. Reeves gets the kill with Wave of Terror. And that's a full... Is it really full on pipe? No, a little bit short on the full pipe, but gonna have it within like the next minute or two.
That is a very fast pipe.
I just wish Axe got his blink already.
Yeah, he was so close to it. So what exactly happened up top? Because I didn't quite catch that. Because he had a TP scroll in his inventory. Did he not try to TP out, or was he just too close to certain death that he just couldn't TP out?
I think they probably just tried to kill the Lifestealer there. Spectre haunted in as well, and well, Lifestealer just yeah, I'll man up. I have my armlet finished. Had to infest for a little bit of extra health regen there, and just turned around on Axe completely. I mean, Axe, yes, you're a strong hero, but usually you are that strong because you get a little bit ahead, get the blink dagger at a point when the enemy cannot easily kill you. And you're not the tankiest of heroes normally. I mean, you would like to have like a Vanguard, maybe Crimson Guard finished up completely or something like that, but at the moment just Tranquil Boots. Now has the blink, but blink lasso in the meantime onto Robert Enigma. Once again will meet his demise. Does pop the mech, Midnight Pulse. I think he was gearing up even for a potential black hole if he got the Midnight Pulse off properly there and had time, but does die. 3.4k on Mantis. Age is still there for another 2 minutes. I mean, xGame, they're gonna have to start throwing real hard if they want to lose this game.
They're actually really far ahead, but if B5 can actually get a couple of pickoffs, that'll be great. There's a Berserker's Call. They're going to go right onto Stylecat. He's actually dropping very quickly. He's just going to invest into a Radiant Creep, and well, he's actually going to come out, or is actually going to try and jump onto our poor Axe, and he's trying to run away. Blink Dagger does come off cooldown. He is going to get out, but actually, poor Witch Doctor smacked down. Actually, never mind, Berserker's Call. Actually, I don't know what killed the Witch Doctor, but he does die. Black Hole going to be thrown onto Mantis. Actually, that will be cancelled out. 4-star for the Mantis. He does have Aegis, but it doesn't really matter. He is going to go down. He will come back soon, but for Roberto, he is going to go down there. Axe. There's a Berserker's Call again onto Mantis. He's actually very squishy. If they can pick him off, that's going to be a pretty big kill. Oh my goodness. The ultimate there from the Shadow Fiend. Can he get the Zeus? He won't. But unfortunately, the poor Spectre, who did manage to get the kill on the Shadow Fiend, will perish by the Bat Rider. That was a very messy fight.
It was a 4-for-3 in the end. Number-wise, B+5, huge advantage for them in this fight. Just because they get so much gold, so much XP due to the fact that they were so far behind. But I think xGame could not have taken a worse fight than this, in all fairness. And even then, they do get more kills, of course. Still, the rubber band will be there. But I think xGame, maybe they kind of learned their overextension lesson from this one. Maybe not, of course. They can still just drag things out. And Reeves, he's gotten the fastest pipe on range by 5 minutes. Wow, 77% win rage on a Vengeful Spirit pipe.
Well, Typically, you never see a Vengeful Spirit picking up a pipe because she never gets the farm for it, but
So
she's
if
running
you have
ahead
that
of
much farm,
Midas.
you're just bound to win, right?
Well, you can't really just say that she's bound to win. It's just they're so far ahead. They're picking up these items to gear up for the fights in the future if anything goes wrong. Because it's a game of Dota. Anything can happen. You might just get picked off one by one. All of a sudden, the enemy can come back because of the rubber band effect. So, xGame, they're just going to gear up for what could inevitably be a hard game in the future.
So at least after the last fight, xGame are not ahead by 1k plus per minute in net worth now. So it's just about 16,000 net worth lead now. XP just about 14,000 or so. So still a huge lead, but they cannot celebrate quite yet. Lifestealer though, SNY will be finished shortly. Mantis has his own SNY done already. Nothing else coming out, no BKB or anything yet. And well, B+5, they are grouped up. They have the Yules and Zeus. They have had the Blink on Axe for some time. Spectre has himself a Blade of Alacrity and Power Threads. So they're getting something accomplished, but the thing is, they don't really have like the best lineup to go and gank Batrider. Much easier for him to just find heroes than it is for the Axe, because Firefly gives you so much vision at the same time. And well, they might find Batrider now, but they can't damage him before the Blink.
Oh, they're going to go right for the lasso onto the Spectre. They're going to bring him into Mantis. There is going to be a Malefist. Actually, do they Malefist anything? They do Malefist Mantis. Never mind, I didn't see the animation, but they will be able to get him. They're even going to use the Witch Doctor Ward. He's going to mech himself up. He does die, though, to the Zeus. So nice pick up there for B5. Unfortunately for xGame, they tried to go for a quick pick-off, but, well, it didn't quite go their way, and they lose a very big hero. Oh, my goodness. 800 gold to the Zeus for that. 500 for the Enigma just for being nearby.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just kill the highest farmed hero, who before that point was doubling that of the highest P+5 hero's net worth. So a massive kill to say the least, and other than that it just slows down xGame in general. Yes, they got the tier 2 down, but it's not that big of a deal considering the P+5. There's almost no chance that they can actually defend the tier 2 as it is. Maybe with like a Blink Black Hole, which they can't even go for because there is no Blink on the Enigma, has the mech going for BKB next. So BKB Black Hole, even that isn't like a guaranteed one because there is a Vengeful Spirit on the field.
Yeah, and there's also Lasso as well, so we've got two spells from xGame that can actually pierce the magic community. Now with the Lasso though, Tomash has to be careful with the positioning, because if he blinks into the black hole, it's going to be a bit of a blunder. So that's something to keep in mind. For B5, they're doing okay now. They're starting to stabilize, they're getting some nice picks. What would you suggest that some of their heroes pick up? We are going to see a Diffusal Blade, I think, or is that a Yasha? I think it's a Yasha. Yeah, it's a Yasha. Band of Elven Skin. So, we have a Yasha going back on the Spectre. What would you suggest that the rest of B5 pick up? Will they go for defensive items? They need to be on the aggressive?
Oh, just a second. Tomash might find himself a target, although he's going to get bursted quite a bit there. Mantis, Yule Scepter, never mind, it's the Yule Scepter of the Zeus there. Tabushka, he's going to get run down, and they may be able to get Mantis at least in return. Nemerianos, oh, the swap out into the Ice Path because Tomash still alive. Pipe is activated, so they get themselves 2 kills. But item-wise, I think it's probably just rather go for the aggressive route. Maybe Enigma pick up the BKB, that's fine, because get a little bit of a higher chance to get your proper just black hole off. Other than that, just go aggressive. I think you have to just go big or just lose this game straight out.
I thought you were going to say go big or go home. We have a Helmet the Dominator though on the Vengeful Spirit. Our stats man pointed out the Morbid Mask and all of a sudden it's a Helmet the Dominator. So are we going to see maybe a Satanic Vengeful Spirit, or do you think she's just going to take a creep for a aura? I think it's just for a creep, but if she does transition into a carry, it will be very interesting.
It would be definitely weird to see Satanic as a first damaging item. Although it may just be that lifesteal, like I said, maybe get the one creep going with the aura, quite possibly the Alpha Wolf if you can find one. Just because Alpha Wolf aura plus your own Vengeance aura, it's going to be a hell of a lot of damage just that otherwise would not be there for the rest of your team. And well, Roshan is up now, so Vengeful Spirit himself can tank it if need to, having that lifesteal ready for herself. They have the minus armor anyway from the Shadow Fiend plus the Wave of Terror. It's just looking in general so good for xGame, and to be honest, I mean, Lifestealer or no one, I'm not even too sure like how much was the Lifestealers doing in this game.
I kind of feel like it's not Skullcat that's really doing the game. It's mostly been Mantis and the Batrider, Tomash, and the two supports. Like, for the moment, it feels like Skullcat. He's playing the traditional carry where if anything goes wrong, he's essentially the backup carry. He is the insurance of xGame. If anything goes wrong, he will be there to hopefully get them back in that game. Because he's farming, and he's farming very quickly, especially with the Hand of Midas. And he's pretty strong. He can fight now if he wants to.
Am I the only one, by the way, who thinks that Lifestealer set is butt ugly?
I'm pretty sure all Lifestealer sets are butt ugly.
No,
Well, the
no,
hero's
no.
butt ugly.
No, but that set is just like super bad. Although in the meantime, Witch Doctor will lose his life. Tomash BKB lasso up onto Spectre as well. Robert trying to find his perfect black hole, gets Ice Path instead. Requiem of Souls will not get everything completely, but blows up Enigma anyway. TTS will be next. Can he get Mantis at least? But Mantis has the Aegis anyway. Tabushka just barely TPs out in front of the Lifestealer's node. But still 3 heroes down. Not a chance for a black hole even. Oh wow. B+5, they need to catch a break. For a second I thought like, they are 5 close to where xGame only has like 2 heroes. That is their chance, but even then couldn't find anything apart from Magic Hero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point they're very desperate because they are still pretty far behind even though they had a couple of those nice kills. So they're pretty much in desperation mode. They say, go for kills. If we give up heroes, I guess it's okay. We are far behind anyway. Hopefully the rubber band mechanic works in our favor. But you have to take into consideration you can't always rely on that rubber band mechanic. It will at times fail you, and it will at times not be essentially won't be worth it. So I don't know. It's very difficult to really say what B5 can do. They can try and go for smoke ganks. They're just going to have to hope that they grab somebody who's completely isolated from their team. Like if they go onto Skullcat right now, he's very tanky, but he is isolated from the team. So if they can pick him off quickly, then they'll be great. But he is probably the most difficult hero to kill in xGame, and unfortunately for Roberto, he is going to be completely smacked to death by Skullcat. Actually going to commit a black hole for this. He ults up and he has Jakira, so that's not cancelled out. Actually, Skullcat, he's going to die, but that was with a solo black hole. Completely worth it there for B5 to get the main farmer on the side of xGame, and they get a little bit of a freebie there at the Jakira as well into Tabushka. He's going to go for a D-ward, but Mantis sitting on the high ground. He should be very careful. I don't think he's going to go down. He's going to back off.
I really thought Enigma was going to just black hole straight away, not even try to run, but in the end, it was Zeus really securing them the kill, because otherwise Amazing on the Jakira would have gotten the Ice Path. First time Jakira attempted to cast the Ice Path, which cast time really kind of horrible for that. Got interrupted by a Lightning Bolt mini-stun, then got thrown up by the Yule Scepter into the air. So the Ice Path, by the time it came out, Black Hole had already ran its course anyway. So without the Zeus, I think probably Lifestealer gets the kill there. Maybe even escapes, maybe gets another kill, who knows. But nicely done by the Zeus there. Also, Black Hole committal for such a kill, definitely worth it. But rest of xGame still farming up. Mantis is number 1 in net worth once again. Just finished the BKB, already 3.5k after that.
Yeah, and he still has the Aegis. So at this point, I feel like xGame, they're just going to go for the push. They are bringing everybody in. So they TP a Skullcat, they're going to bring Amazing, and everyone is going to go straight down that mid lane because they know the black hole is down, and it's down for another 2 minutes. And I don't think B5 can actually stall for long enough for that black hole to come online at a reasonable time, unless xGame kind of delay it, which it looks like they're just kind of delaying it now. They still have the Aegis, but they're not really pushing, unless they're just waiting for the creep wave. But everyone is a little bit spread out, so I'm not too sure what they're hoping to achieve. There is a swap. They're going to go right onto our poor Axe. Dead again, flat as a pancake. And well, everybody on the side of xGame, they are going to start reinforcing. Amazing's going to be the first one to come in, and there will be the Batrider coming in very soon as well. So Tomash, Blink Dagger ready, as well as that lasso. Will they grab anyone? Ice Path not going to connect. So it's a little bit of tension here by both sides. But B5, they are working with one less hero.
Axe does have buyback if it's really necessary, although at this point, if you have to buy back as well, even if you get those couple of kills, it's still gonna hurt you so damn bad. Although, xGame, Tomash, BKB activated on Batter, gets the jump, gets the Spectre as well. Do they have the necessary burst? Requiem of Souls will be rewinded up. And, well, just wind it up, and they do get Mantis. It's only the Aegis. Double buyback, Horn back in. They get Amazing as well. Vengeful Spirit already down. Skullcat finally joins the fight. Does he get a lucky bash onto TTS? Nope. He does not for now. Gets the slow onto Majek, and it's just gonna back off Infest. One more attack from Mantis. In the end, it's gonna be a 3-4-2 with 2 buybacks from B+5.
Actually, Stalker, he's going to be pursued by these heroes. Used up in the air. He might be dead, but Tomash going to come in. Is he going to save his teammate? Unfortunately not. So that's going to be Starcat going down as well. So B5, pretty good defense. They lose nothing in terms of infrastructure. They only lose manpower. So I'm pretty sure they're happy with that. They got 2k gold, even though it forced out 2 buybacks.
So Axe had to buy back, and with that only lost 32 gold by the end of it. Just because they got so much from those kills there. Stalkat, he was just pushing bottom lane. I don't know why xGame just didn't brute force like one lane knowing that the black hole is on cooldown. A little bit weird by them in all honesty, but they just feel they're so far ahead. I mean, Vengeful Spirit has himself a Yasha already. Does he have anything else? Nope, not for now. Tomash has a haste rune, but I don't think he can really solo kill anybody at this point. Maybe just drag somebody to the hill and have him just slowly die in the Firefly there possibly. And well, that's exactly what he's gonna try to do. Does not get Spectre completely to the high ground. He's still trying to run circles around the Spectre, but Tabushka does come in. A little bit too hopeful from Tomash, even with having the haste. The next game, if they just keep doing this for long enough, just keep feeding gold into Spectre, who just purchased himself a Sacred Relic. Extremely slow one considering 29 minutes in. But Radiant Spectre, level 17 as well. I mean, B+5 definitely not out of this game, even though it's hard for them to come back. I mean, next game, if they keep on fighting like they have, it's quite possible.
I'm very scared here for xGame. I feel like they're getting a little bit cocky because they think they're so far ahead that they're not, you could say gods, they won't die, but they feel that they're so far ahead that these kills are going to come easy. But B5, they're kicking back, and it's actually successful on their part. Even though they're having to buy back, they are getting the better end of the stick just because they are having the effects of the rubber band working in their favor. And they are going to try and go for a smoke, or they're going to use the Spectre as bait. They're going to hang around with Tedious here. But no one's actually in the top lane, so no one's going to jump on the Spectre. I think they're just going to go into the jungle and hopefully find somebody because Haunt is online, and if Spectre can grab a kill with this next gank, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the Radiance up. There's a Zeus ult, and the only one they see actually in the jungle is Mantis, but he's already going to retreat into the tower. So that's going to be pretty much a wasted smoke gank, unfortunately, for B5. Nothing for them. Yeah, it would have been a little bit scary if they had to run into the entire xGame draft, because fighting on high ground, it's much more difficult than fighting up on high ground. So, a bit of a risky play, but unfortunately yielding literally nothing. Nothing positive, nothing negative out of it.
The question now is though, even if P+5 find themselves a Shadow Fiend, do they have enough lockdown to make it so that they cannot pop his just BKB Satanic combination? It's just...
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You just got to be very careful though, because he's still gonna have a chance to die if he gets bursted down quick enough. Then more Mantis, he's pretty much still dead meat. Although B5, do they have the damage output to take down some of these heroes? In particular, that Shadow Fiend who, like you mentioned, just got the Satanic. There is the last, so going to go right onto Dabushka. That's going to be the Zeus down and out. Can he have buyback though? I think he does. He's going to go buyback straight away though. Zeus ult is still down for 22 seconds, whereas in the meantime, back in the fight, Stylecat down. Witch Doctor goes down, but he's going to buy back as well. BKB was popped onto Roberto, so the Enigma is going to remain alive, but I don't know, it just felt like xGame, even though they went in and tried to go high ground, even with the initiation from Tomash, they still lose big heroes, and the Radiance is finally done on this Spectre, so she's going to be doing quite a bit of AoE damage now. Although they're going to try and jump onto her, but do they have anything to catch her? It looks like they're not going to be able to. And there's a Zeus ult. They're going to catch onto everybody. Now Mantis called up by our Axe. Is he going to go down? No, Satanic is actually on cooldown, so it's going to be nothing in terms of that to save him. And I think he's going to drop down to nothing just because of the battle hunger. It's ticking out. Can he survive? He just popped his wand, so he will be able to survive. Nakes getting a kill onto the Zeus, though, as well as the Bat Rider getting a kill onto the Oh, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong things. Never mind. I'm drunk.
It was... I think Reeves being close to the Shadow Fiend is what kept him alive. Maybe he would have survived anyway, but getting the +4 health per second regen aura from the pipe there, it may or may not have completely saved the Shadow Fiend in that case. Even the next game, not the cleanest of fights. Oh, beautiful Blink Berserker Skull lands onto two. The entire creep wave there does get lassoed up and in the end will die because of that. If only there was even a tiny bit of just follow-up there. Robert gets swapped back in as well. They're going to get Reeves, I believe, because the tower does physical damage, so Pipe does not save you from that. Now, though, everybody dead. Enigma, the only one to have buyback. Next game, they may finally have broken one high ground. but damn, was it so much harder for them than initially expected.
Yeah, they probably don't have the best high ground pushing team. They don't really have anything to just spam into the base, aside from maybe just the Shadow Fiend. They had to rely on Tomash for a lot of those engagements, and I think B5, the call there was really nice from the Axe, but there was just no follow-up damage. Even though the Spectre was nearby, she has to be in melee range, and if she's in melee range, and if that Axe dies, there's going to be no one to protect her. They don't have a Vengeful Spirit for the swap, they don't have any heroes with 4 staffs behind her, so she was a vulnerable target, and she did get swapped in, she did get picked off. Now, there is a buyback on the Enigma. 3 heroes are up for B5. They want to make a defense. Tomash, he is going to Firefly, going to lasso straight onto Roberto. BKB is down. Black Hole's actually on cooldown, so I don't really think it mattered. Although there's going to be the Death Ward thrown out by the Witch Doctor, but everyone at xGame just runs out of range, and they're just going to continue on hitting the Raxes. Tabushka taking a little bit of harassment there from Mantis, and looks like everyone on xGame, they're going to go back. Battle Hunger thrown out onto Mantis. I don't know if B5 should engage up on the hill. They don't have any vision up there, so it's a little bit scary. They don't catch anyone in terms of that ice path, and I think that's where everyone will part ways.
I think they may just try to keep on going, although then again, having said that, Batrider, his ports of travels are on cooldown. Not exactly how that happened after the buyback, or did he try to boots of travels just before dying there? Maybe misclicked the item, maybe wanted to force that for BKB, I don't know. But Roshan, number 3 is up, so gonna be Aegis, gonna be Cheese. We've seen the last 2 instances of Aegis not do all that much in the favor of xGame, but we have Cheese on top of that, and the massive lead of 30,000 net worth, 25k XP. They should be able to just, by all means, bulldoze their way to the high ground.
Yeah, so here we go. This is going to be the, well, basically, the push down the bottom lane for xGame. They have pretty much everything that they need. They've got Pipe, they've got Mech. I think the only thing they don't really have is a Crimson Guard, but there's no real physical damage on the side of B5 that they need to be worried about. It's mostly been magical damage, aside from the Axe and pretty much the Witch Doctor. It's mostly been Tabushka as well as Tedious, who's been doing a lot of the damage. Witch Doctor, he does have the ward, it does a little bit of damage, but I think it comes to the point where the Witch Doctor is a little bit redundant at this point, because he can't really provide anything, and Tabushka, he will be lassoed by Tomash. There is going to be the Haunt coming in from our Spectre, and actually there's a lot of damage coming through all these heroes, but Stylecat, he's going to lock down Roberto, he's dead, Tabushka's dead, as well as our Witch Doctor, and there was a buyback coming up from the Axe, but what can he do? And unfortunately, Teddy, he's by himself, he has buyback, he's going to actually have to use that. Now 2 heroes are left for B5. Can they really make a defense though? Mantis, he's just going to be pretty much tickled by the Spectre there with the Spectral Dagger. And, well, all they can do is they're just going to have to watch xGame take their base. They can't really do anything by themselves. Oh my goodness. I like the focus fire there from Stylecat onto the Enigma, because that meant that he just couldn't black hole. Because if he was going to black hole, it would only be on a solo Enigma. There was no chance, sorry, on a solo Nex. There would have been no chance for him to actually go for the 2 to 3 man black hole if he wanted to. Because unfortunately for him, this is the problem when you don't have a blink dagger on the Enigma, but unfortunately for him, he's not really had a chance to farm up for it, and straight for the Ancient xGame, they want to finish it, they do not want to delay, but Stylecat dropping pretty low. He has the cheese though, he can pop it if he wants to. He does not actually eat the cheese, he's actually super powerful, that doesn't really matter. And there's the GG call as well.
So xGame in the end do win this, although from like minute 5, minute 10 maybe the latest, xGame, they were comfortably in the lead, to be honest, and just the design of lineup for the side of B+5 wasn't the greatest in just combating from behind in any stage of the game, really. Axe getting like, what was it, 17-minute blink or something like that. By that time, the Vengeful Spirit already had a Hand of Midas plus like power heads finished or something like that, maybe even a little bit extra. Oh wow. So xGame, they do manage to stay in Division 2. Although probably for xGame and their fans it's maybe not the greatest of things, maybe would have wanted them to just be in the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, but hopefully by this point now they will have fixed their roster issues, and with such a performance, definitely expect them to do a hell of a lot better in next season's Division 2.
Yeah, they've really fallen. I still remember when they actually used to be a really strong upcoming team, and they've fallen so far down. Hopefully they do manage to come back, hopefully they do have a solid roster. Like you said, They really need to solidify their roster because if you play with a solid roster, you can play so much better than playing with all stand-ins. But well, congratulations to xGame. They still stay in Division 2, whereas B5 does B5 play in the playoffs for Division 2 and 3? I think so.
Yes, they drop down into
Yes.
those now. So of course we may still see them in next season as well. But for this one, congratulations to X Game by me as well. And of course, thank you, huge thank you to the viewers who all just tuned in for this one game only. Appreciate it, and if you liked what you saw, be sure to check out HeflaTV on our Facebook and Twitter, HeflaTV for both. For the casters, it's at Couchor for me, at Daniele casts for my co-caster. Of course,
Yay.
our statsman, also Man of Chalk, don't think he has a Twitter, but awesome anyway. Of course, our handles are also in the title of Twitch if you just want easier access, or just type !caster in chat. If I set it up, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, who knows, but for now, this is it. Just a few songs to finish the stream, and have a good one.